Alright guys, it's KJM and I'm back for a part 2 review of Betty's Bad Luck in Love. Once again, I am giving this movie a 9 out of 10. It's starring J.C. Malley and Marco Grazzini. You guys know Marco Grazzini from Virgin River, and apparently J.C. was in Chesapeake Shores, a series that ended about a year ago. It had Trent Williams in it. May God rest his soul. And yeah. So here we are, seeing Lacey in this movie. Her and Marco were perfectly paired, in my opinion. If you have not watched part 1 of this review, go back, because I kind of go into the early premise of how Betty gets cursed and where they are right now. Now, I come from a culture that does believe in curses, and not just generational curses, okay? Because even the Bible talks about the sins of the father and what happens. It can trickle on down generation after generation. But I also come from a culture where we believe, like, my grandma used to always call clothes that was previously owned by other people old brook. And basically, we generally believe that things, houses, that you live in, the land that you're on, that our ancestors or people that owned it before, their spirits are with it. And that can bring you some good energy or some negative energy. I'm also going to say, let's talk about Elaine cursing Betty. Okay, I will tell you this, karma exists both biblically, there's evidence, and also in science. In science, we learned that energy is never lost, it's transferred. So even if it wasn't a real curse, Elaine took that energy and sent it to Betty, and Betty took it very seriously because she realized she had betrayed her friend when she had tried to talk to a guy she knew her friend liked, right? And Betty, overall, was that kind of behavior worth it? Even in middle school, that's a good lesson to learn. It's a good life lesson, right? So coming from the culture that I do, where you have to be careful of the energy that you let in, the people you let in, where you get your clothes, the land you live on, okay? We always say any lakes that were built on top of bodies, okay? Oppressed bodies, that's never going to be a good thing. And y'all know what lake I'm referring to in the United States. There may be more than one, but I think it's like Lake Lanier or something like that. Anyway, so let's get back into this movie. So we're in the woods, and that's when Alex realizes that Betty followed him out there, but he doesn't know about the curse, so he does what any normal person would do and would not take her phone calls, because he's like, this lady's unhinged. She followed me out here. Either she's got trust issues and we just started dating. But he's talking to his sister Amy, and he's like, I really liked her. I wanted it to work, but this is just some weird shit. And I could feel Alex on this. I don't know how I would trust someone who would do this again. But as luck would have it, Maya and Amy, Maya, Betty's best friend, and Amy, Alex's sister, happen to get on the same elevator, and they have a conversation. And once they figure out who each other is, Maya tells Amy about Betty's curse from 20 years ago. And this is why Betty has these issues. Now, if you're watching the movie, you know that there's a deeper analogy going on here. It looks like anytime anyone gets very close to Betty, something bad happens to them. But could it be that Betty is afraid of having a broken heart, and that's why she keeps everyone at bay? I think that's what the writers are trying to tell us here, blended in with this curse. Okay, once, all of that happens and Betty realizes it may be too late with Alex, she decides she's going to track down Elaine and figure out how she can get this curse off of her. So let me just tell you this. I've had a couple people say some things to me, okay? And I sometimes do wonder if some of the karma I received in my dating life are from decisions I made in the past that were not wise. Sometimes I was an innocent party to the mess. Sometimes I was in the passenger seat of the mess. But for the times that I was the innocent party to the mess, I still took the brunt, the weight of that woman contacting me and saying, this is her man, even though he told me he's single. Right? I still felt that weight. And I'll never forget that there was a time a woman broke into an iPhone of like an ex-boyfriend of mine, and she saw pictures and stuff of us, and he was trying to re-court me to see if we could work out stuff. We had not dated in years. She's African, I'm West Indian. The cultures have a lot of similarities when it comes to someone having pictures of you and things like that. And I'm telling you, if this lady's out here, I didn't know that fool. I had suspected, I had tried to confront him, and I didn't even want that fool, but I did what you said. I left him alone. And it has been 15 years and I've never spoken to him again. So girl, send me some good luck in 2024 because I'm ready to date without having that hang over my shoulder. Okay, sister? All right, back to Betty's bad luck in love. So she tries to track down Eleni, the young girl that put a curse on her 20 years prior to in middle school. And she's having a hard time because apparently Eleni's name is pretty popular in the tri-state area. We do like diversity up in here. She finally tracks down Eleni, and Eleni's like, babe, what curse? Like, seriously, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then she thinks about it and she's like, oh yeah, girl. She's like, but my mom wasn't really a fortune teller. Like, she worked at the bank. I just thought it was something really cool to say. So it turns out Eleni didn't have any fortune telling powers, but Betty really believed it because, well, it's junior high and we all believed a lot of crazy shit in junior high, right? So that kind of stuff happens. Anywho, at the point that Alex figures out, hears from his sister about Betty's curse, he doesn't believe in curses, so they start dating again. And now Betty is thinking the curse is gone. And we find out that one of the companies that Betty had recommended her company to take over now has a fire in one of their warehouses, and there's several construction workers trapped in there. Betty rushes to that site, and who does she see taking pictures at the site? Baby, it's Alex. Okay, there is a gas leak also in the building. The firefighters are trying to get in to assess the situation. But as Betty and Alex are talking, Alex and Betty hear a man inside saying, help me, I'm trapped, and I smell gas. Alex gets into action, very manly. Marco, you did what you had to do there. He gets into action, he jumps into the building, and he does save that man. Now, I will say that I don't recommend anybody doing that, okay? There is an explosion, but Alex comes out alive, and so does the man, because God is good, okay? That's what I got to say about that. In that moment, Betty is crying because she really thought, that's it, Alex is gone, and she done watched him got blown up to smithereens. But no, honey, he comes out with the construction worker, and even though what he did was very silly, it really taught me, or taught Betty, I should say, that he's a fundamentally good person. It's not that he loves risk, but he would never leave someone in a building to burn, even though he's not an expert on taking people out of burning buildings. Leave it to the firefighters and the professionals, Alex. Anyway, you know, they're on the scene. Betty's crying, and Betty's like, I can't do this with you. I can't do this with you. Even though she was so happy he was okay. They kiss there, and I love that Hallmark is getting more kisses in. They kiss there because it was an appropriate time. You know, you just think the man you love got blown up, and you find out he didn't. They kiss, and then they continue to date. So finally, they're going to go on their official date. Alex plans it out, asks Betty out, and Betty's like, this is the man for her. It's something different. Once again, someone's moving, so the one elevator is not working. So Alex takes the steps, and he loves to tap dance, and he loves stuff like singing in the rain and that kind of thing. So we see him tapping with flowers in his hands as he's trying to make it down one floor to Betty's apartment. But he trips and falls, and he hurts himself pretty bad, and he lands in the hospital. Betty shows up along with his sister, and Betty's like, I just can't do this, Alex. I could have lost you. She still thinks the curse is not gone. And, you know, it's finally occurring to her that she just doesn't like anyone to get too close to her. And, you know, and this is the good thing about Eleni releasing her and saying, hey, hon, I didn't really curse you. Anyway, Betty and Alex get together, stay together. We see that they get married like the year later, and it's a beautiful wedding. Who styled JC this entire movie, you did a job. And she was a beautiful bride with them gloves and everything. This couple was just stunning. Y'all go check out Betty's Bad Luck in Love. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I can't wait to rewatch it. And Hallmark, thank you for this movie. It is cold outside, it's snowing where I'm at, and I need to know that love is still possible. And once again, you gave it to us with Betty's Bad Luck in Dating. I feel like my luck is going to change this year. And I'm out.